Councilmember Jackson has a lot of titles. She is a licensed social worker, which means a lot, another clinician. A college professor, meaning that she's instructing folk on this thing. An author, and more importantly, a mother.
Amen.
She knows firsthand the devastation that our system, mass incarceration brings to our communities and our children. She raised her daughter alone for the first 4 years of her life because her then boyfriend was sent to jail for drug charges. Now representing Avant, she champions for criminal reform legislation like treatment, not jail, that aim to dismantle this ugly, racist chapter in history. Without further ado,
I'm using my voice because yesterday we did solutions, not suspensions, which is very similar to treatment, not jail. Because what they're doing with our kids is putting them in suspension, which we know later with the prison pipeline, right? We end up in this situation. I am a licensed social worker, so mental health and your mental health, your well-being is so important to me. It's very clear that jails do not work, right? We are here to make sure that people are not being recidivized into our prison system. And there are people that just don't even belong there to start with. So it is important that we pass this legislation. Thank you to my sponsors and the Senate and the Assembly. We are going to keep it going. When I tell you that now is the time, now is the time. I am here as your assemblywoman, your social worker, a mother to a black son and a black daughter to make sure that they don't end up in our prison system. And when I tell you we need treatment, not jails, that's what the Bronx is asking me to be here and do. Thank you.
again, we want to thank everybody that showed out and showed up today. We got two more here.
In 2023, what you gonna do? Treatment, not jail.
Assemblyman, wait, you see?
Why they figuring it out? What do we want? Treatment, not jail. When we gonna get it? 2023. Treatment, not jail. In 2023, what you gonna do?
Treatment, not jail.
New York is gonna do what? Treatment, not jail. Governor!
All right, we have two more.
Okay.
And then after the next two more assembly members, we're going to turn it over to, we got one more, we're going to turn it back over to our fearless leader who's going to take us to the promised land. What do we want?
Treatment, not jail.
When do we want it?
Now!
All right. We have Assembly Member Juan Ardelia from Queens. He's going to talk to us.
Thank you so much, everybody.
One night!
Thank you again. I'll be brief. I know we got a program to go to, but I want to say, first of all, I'm really grateful to be here. My name is Assembly Member Juan Ardilla, first Latino to represent the 37th District in Queens. Sunnyside, Woodside, and I think, the biggest principle that brought us all here is that individuals that need mental health services should not be criminalized.
That's right.
And time again, all we see within our criminal justice system is more violence, more racism, more criminalization, and now as recent, more killings. Black and brown lives constantly being brutalized by our criminal justice systems, by what's supposed to be our public safety agencies. So now we're here because we have an answer. We have a solution that can address the mental health crisis, that can provide people the support systems that they need, the safety nets that they need. So as a new assembly member, I'm really honored to be here with my colleague Farrah Forrest, as well as my fellow Colombian colleague from across the pond in Queens, to be a champion and a co-sponsor for treatment. Not jail.
Not jail. You gotta say
I know it is. I'm proud to be co-sponsor for treatment, not jails. and you have my unwavering support in this matter. Because this isn't just about pushing criminal justice reform. This is about pushing progressive criminal justice and mental health reform across our state. So I'm honored to be here and proud to join you. Thank you so much.
See, we gaining momentum and support because we're getting a lot of more folks that got sense, and we're gonna make sense. So,
Politicians, not politicians.
come on now. So again, thank everybody for coming. Just want to say to everybody before I turn it over to again our leader to close us out. We need to walk back as a group to go to security to get our box lunches before we go back to our
The LOB, mezzanine.
mezzanine.
Get to work.
So again, let's give a warm round of applause and make a lot of noise for our champion Senator Jessica Ramos.
I wanted to leave you all with a parting thought. So tomorrow is actually a very important day here in Albany.
Listen up.
Governor Hochul will be, or is expected to announce her executive budget. We are ready to see the investments that she wants to make in mental health, in our criminal legal system. We know from her state of the state that she wants to invest $1 billion, $1 billion with a B, in mental health in our state this year. That money needs to go to the expansion of diversion courts in the state of New York. It is the only way that we can take our public safety seriously, making sure that those who need help are receiving it.
Come on now.
And that is why I, along with Farah, two moms from Queens and Brooklyn, who want their, that's a different press conference, who want to make sure that our children don't grow up in a world where everyone is succumbed to the wills of prosecutors and defense attorneys and judges who may be experts in the law but are not experts in public health.
That's right.
That they get help from actual doctors and clinicians and therapists and psychiatrists and social workers and nurses and absolutely every single other person who is an expert on the wellness of a human being.
That's right.
We cannot continue to treat any human beings as if they're animals. No living being deserves to be in a cage.
I know that's right.
Everyone has the right to love and care, because that is the path to breaking cycles of trauma, cycles of violence that we are so desperate to end so that we can keep our communities safe. So today, when you go out there and you talk to my colleagues and Farah's colleagues, be brave, share your story, whether it's your story or your loved one's story. It's important that it's heard and understood so that this bill makes it into the budget on April 1st.
Yes!
That's the deadline. Listen, but we always say Queens get the money. But for once, we want the entire state to get the money.
Yes.
From Queens to Buffalo, from Syracuse all the way to the tip of Long Island. Every single mental health court needs to exist and needs to be fully funded in order to keep everybody safe.
Get 'em, Queen.
So, this is the time. The time is now. We cannot allow people to control the narratives of our communities. We know what keeps us safe.
That's right.
We know that investments keep our communities safe.
That's right.
So when the governor puts out her budget on tomorrow, on Wednesday, we have to make sure that we convince her that $1 billion over here is the smartest move, the best investment. Because what we need right now is treatment, not jail. What do we want?
Treatment, not jail.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Treatment, not jail.
When do we want it?
Now.
Wednesday, because it's our time for us to stand up for our communities, stand up for our people, because they need it now.
That's right. What do we want?
Treatment not jail.
What are we going to get?
Treatment not jail.
What are we going to get?
Now.
What are we going to get?
Treatment not jail.
All right, thank you, everybody. Woo!
Great job, everybody.
Check it out. I make after this one, I'm meeting. Check it out. I'm activist and media. Yep. Activist and media. Check it out. Yep. No, I'm not.
My brother, can I ask you? Hey, Casey! You have a card by any chance? I'm looking for this, so everything
Get Jessica. Over there, get Jessica. Let me get some fun. Check it out. I'm activist and media, yeah? I'm activist and media. Check it out, yeah? If your issues try to get covered and they're not covered it, I'll cover it, yeah? Tricks, come on. Sorry, yeah? Check it out. Activist. Oh, I gave you one before, right? Yeah. Check out activist and media, yeah? What topic are you guys here for today?
Push. We're here with push.
You guys are here with the wrongful convictions or something else?
Stillborn. We got topic.
Huh?
Stillborn.
Stillborn babies? Okay.
Family leave.
Oh, need family leave? If your topic not getting covered, hit me up. Yeah, I'll cover it. Yeah. I'm actually have media and.
Wait, where's Jessica?
Check out, I'm making a video of today's event. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Catch me later. Yeah, I'll do an interview with you. Yeah. Where'd Ramos go? She left. Oh man, yeah, I get it. What I gotta do. You know, only some of us get help around here, yeah? Check it out, yeah, media and press. Yeah, I'm covering today. I'm activist and media. I'm activist and media. If your event's not getting covered, I'll cover it, yeah? Hit me up. Rev Keith.
Excuse me. Hi.
Rev Keith. Yo, Keith. Yo, Gadsden. Gadsden, what's up? Yo, Rev Keith. Reverend Keith. Oh my God. Look at this guy. Reverend Keith, where are you? Oh my goodness, is that an Asian American activist? Yo, check it out, yeah? Very rare, yeah, very rare. Appreciate it, yeah? Sorry. Sometimes I gotta convince these people and stuff, yeah? They left, gone, so you gotta make a video on today's event, yeah? I'm activist and press, check it out, yeah? I'm activist and press. Oh, it's Nolan Farrell. Yeah, go ahead.
Queens County.
All right.
Go ahead, Nolan. Nolan, tell them about it.
Can we please just do our press comments, please?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I got a loud one.
I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Please.
I'll turn it up. Turn it up.
Hey, check it out. Yeah, I'm making a video about today's event. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm activist and I'm press. Yeah. I'm activist and press. I'm so
I
sorry.
am a prison rights activist and advocate in Buffalo, New York for releasing the people in prison.
Okay, cool.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah, hit me up. I actually covered other events with RAP. Yeah. Such as the, which is the as in terms of they're talking about the packages that they're interfering with, and New York State is actually one of the few. Actually, I was surprised to see that nobody wants to talk to Julia Salazar today because she's the head of crime enforcement. So I know about this topic, yeah? And I'm working on it. Yeah, actually, that's my guy Nolan Farrell, who was locked up for a decade, and my man Reverend Keith Gatson back for 13 years of proof of their innocence, yeah? So, yeah. But, yeah, I guess they're going to talk on it, yeah. My man Nolan's trying to get on the screen, but you got to respect the event, yeah? God bless.
I want to thank everyone for coming today to help us to be honest.
Actually, the way y'all, in Buffalo, the way y'all won the primary, I'm very interested in it. I think they still did their stuff.
They did.
That was good, though. That's a good first step. You guys can do it again.
We will.
We will help. Yeah, we actually need the voter database. New York City, we made it public for everybody. So the thing is, when someone's controlling the voter list, we make it public. Hit us up and let them have it.
I'm going to get in touch with you.
I already conceded 2 years ago. They don't want to exonerate one of the DAs. They John Consolano, who's county, the second man in the matter. We're going to make a change today. That's why and hustle my wrongful conviction.
I myself was wrong.
I appreciate what they do. What up? You know, yeah?
They ain't doing nothing.
Brother, you gotta be respectful. You gotta be respectful. We're not helping each other now by talking over each other, brother. Come on.
Yo, Rep.
Yo, one mic. They ain't trying to help us at all.
One mic.
That's good. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it?
Down. One mic. Yes, I was and I still am deeply and directly impacted by the CPM 440 job motivation bill. I'm speaking to you today in spirit and truth about how the traumatic, intentional incarceration journey began Friday, 6:30 p.m., May 28, 1988. I remember everything today.
You know, help me keep talking over this.
It was a Memorial Day weekend when I was arrested. I didn't see the judge until that Monday. I went in front of the judge. He said, "On unreasonable bail." I was not able to make bail. I said I'd like about 9 months.
Hey, Jack, when you're done, can I have a moment? Either way, yeah? DGL7 live on the scene. It seems like the event is continuing on. Now, besides Steve Braga, who was here for the first part, we have some other legislators here that may show a key tie between Asian Americans and the black community. We'll see, yeah? So once again, we got John Liu over there.
I know it can happen to me.
I wasn't smoking. I thought about fixing in jail. I asked for a very fixing lawyer and not give it to me. I just want to tell my story. There's all who got a story. I just want to now introduce you to the sponsor of the bill.
sorry,
right,
brother.
so
I'm
first
sorry.
let me say,
Sorry, brother.
we got a lot of people here that have stories about what they've been through with the system. Each one of us have stories about what they've been through in the system. I don't want anyone to be confused that the people speaking today are the only ones that have been through this. We got people standing with us that have their own story. We got people inside right now. Hold on. One mic. So I want everyone to have the opportunity to tell their story, but we're also going to respect each other as we tell those stories. Because if we're demanding respect from the system, we must give respect to each other. That's right.
I want to be heard. I'm a victim of corruption.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, but hold on one second. I want you to be able to tell your story. We're trying to pass a bill to help no individual go through what y'all went through.
I want to be a prime example. I got facts.
Okay.
I don't have victims. I got facts.
I hear you.
I have a letter from the conviction attorney. That was wrong.
Let this man speak. Hold on one second. One mic. I get the passion. It's right. You were done an injustice.
38 years.
That's right.
38 years.
A lot of politicians talk that talk, but they don't walk that walk. They don't walk that walk.
This man is innocent, and
I
we
hear
get
you.
to the press. They don't want to tell nothing until we get exonerated. Then we want to. They want to interview us. We want to interview now.
Just one person. There's thousands of us. Thousands.
All right.
20 years ago.
All right. So hold on one second.
I went to all of them, and they ain't tied up nobody.
Okay.
This man represents thousands.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second.
Please help me.
All right. Hold on.
I came here 2 years ago, but it's Sister Park.
I told Nick something that's crazy. I told him, I said, their problem.
All right. One mic. What we're witnessing now is a direct demonstration of how unjust the system is.
That's right.
Yes.
I want you to imagine for a second, just hold up, just walk with me for 1 second. I want you to imagine that as you've left this press conference, you were taken up by law enforcement. As you walked down these stairs, and they arrested you in connection with a crime that you did not commit. And they took you into the justice system, and the whole time you're pleading your innocence. And no one believes you. No one believes you. So you continue in that justice system. You spend time in jail. You spend time in prison for a crime that you did not commit. How many days are appropriate for you to be in that cell? 6 months?
That ain't right.
38 years.
5 months?
10 years.
10 years? 38 years?
Matter of fact, 31
a day?
years. I'm still incarcerated, my name.
A day in prison for a crime you did not commit
It's too much.
is a day too long.
That's right.
And for too many New Yorkers, as we see today, this is not a hypothetical. This isn't just a press conference. This is life.
That's right.
This is what they have been through. Now, we got people that say they care about public safety.
Come on, speak truth.
Who say they care about our community.
Speak truth.
But for every innocent person inside, there's a guilty person outside.
That's right. That's right.
A person that threatens the safety of our community. So if you really care about public safety, you will support the Wrongful Convictions Act.
must sign this bill.
I am so proud. I am so proud to be in this fight with all of you here.
Thank you.
With the people that have been impacted by this system. And with an assembly sponsor who I look up to. A man who is not new to this fight. Someone who was fighting to reform our system before it was cool. Before everybody was on it. Before the cameras were here. Give it up for Assemblyman Jeff Aubrey, please. So we are gonna pass this bill, and to my brothers here who are going through it.
That's right.
I want you to know that you were heard.
Hope so.
You were heard. You were heard. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Let me finish. Let me finish. You were heard. You were heard. I want everybody that has been through what you've been through to also be heard. Do we have that understanding?
God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are we going to pass this bill this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we going to do it this year?
Yeah.
Let's go get it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Our next speaker was Senator John Book.
That's right.
I'll go after Senator Jeff Aubrey. I want to thank you.
First of all, I want to thank Senator Myrie for, I want to thank Senator Myrie for his leadership on this issue, and I think you should give it up for him again.
That's right.
For me, this is a long battle. We have not always been successful. We have not always done everything right. But what we do is continue to battle year after year after year in order to bring justice to this state. People who have been hurt and injured demand to be heard, should be heard. But we have to respond to that pain and to that hurt and to provide justice for the people who we represent. Wrongful conviction is the stain similar to slavery.
That's right.
When we don't trace this kind of action back to slavery. It's the only circumstance where you could be denied your rights because you were in slavery. And so we know that this is a long struggle that has history behind it. What we need is your energy and your strength to make it happen. It has happened in all of the victories we've had over the years in criminal justice because people on the street decided it was time to happen. That's right. No matter how I vote, how anybody else votes, it's your energy and your effort and your continuing struggle that makes this come real. So it's not our victory. It's not the bill that I will pass. It's your voices that will make the difference in this battle. People power. We have to have one voice. And we have to work together. And it has to be about a collective effort. Can't be single. It's got to be all together saying no more. We will have it no more. No more.
No more. No more.
I'm going to call up Patrick and Rodney to stand. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey Deskovic. I'm with the coalition group It Could Happen to You. I spent 16 years in prison from age 17 to 32 for a murder and rape which I did not commit prior to being exonerated through DNA evidence which identified the actual perpetrator. Harkening back to Senator Myrie's point for a second, the actual perpetrator in my case killed a second victim just 3.5 years after killing the victim in my case. I started a nonprofit, the Jeffrey Deskovic Foundation for Justice, which exonerates people and pushes policy changes, and I became an attorney. One of my clients over here, Ronaldo Clark, did 29 years. We're working on exonerating him. So really quickly, being short, speaking to this bill we're here for, the Challenging Wrongful Convictions Act, A key provision is that it would provide indigent defendants with a right to an attorney in post-conviction hearings, which does not currently the law. I personally sat in prison for 4 years, having to write letters, trying to find an attorney and an investigator to take my case for free because the law doesn't provide for an attorney, and neither my family nor I had any money to hire an attorney. Another key provision is that the way the law is now, if somebody pleads guilty, and we know that innocent people plead guilty, if after that you get a competent attorney and investigator and you find evidence of your innocence, you're not allowed to present that evidence in court arguing you're innocent. I have a client, Omar Clark, was precluded. I could not argue that he was innocent. So this law would remedy that. Lastly, anybody who's convicted of a crime which subsequently becomes not a crime any longer, you'd be able to go back to court to remove that conviction from your record. There is post-conviction discovery. So right now there is no post-conviction discovery. So if you need key documents to prove your innocence, to look for investigative leads, there's no provision in the law. You would have to file a FOIL request, which often takes 1 to 2 years if you're even granted. So that's the key figures of the bill, and I'm a living example of that. I want to have other exonerees and people speak. Thank you for listening to me.
Hello, my name is Rodney Roberts. I spent 18 years wrongfully in prison. I was exonerated in 2014 with DNA evidence. I want to speak personally to the need of this bill because in my situation, I was coerced, threatened, and put into a situation where I felt I had to save my life to plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit. They came to me with a situation where I had to choose between what I felt was the lesser two evils. Pleading guilty to a crime I didn't commit or going to trial and possibly losing my whole future, my whole life by a jury for a crime I did not commit. This bill represents those who sit in prison without an opportunity to challenge even that guilty plea when they faced with such horrible situations of choosing between their future and their lives and their families to plead guilty to a crime they didn't commit, knowing that they don't have an avenue later in life to challenge this, so their situation is done. We want to challenge the Constitution and open that up for that appeal process, so no one innocent has to sit in prison innocently without an opportunity to bring forth the evidence they need to be released. This bill represents the horrible statistic of plea agreements in this country, which is 94 to 95% of plea agreement process in the criminal justice system. That means only 4 to 5% of people go to trial. The word plea agreement don't even exist in the Constitution. So how did we get to this point where plea agreements become the cornerstone of our criminal justice system and now become the very building block and hindrance of those who need justice from getting the justice and relief they deserve and need? We need to push this bill and stand firm together on this bill for those who are voiceless. We out here with a voice. Fight for those who are voiceless so they can get the opportunity we have to stand here in front of you and push the justice system to the limit. We need to reform. This bill is very important, and that's it for me to bring to the next one.
Now it's just in the parole board. You got to go in there and say you're guilty for a crime you didn't do. You got to show remorse. Innocent people can't go in there and say they didn't perpetrate the crime.
My name is Derek Hamilton. I'm a co-founder of Family and Friends of the Wrongful Convicted. I am also a deputy director of the Perimeter Center of Legal Justice. We're here today from several people who have been wrongfully convicted, and I believe that wrongful convictions are a crime. That's right. We hear from Nolan Farrell, who said he was convicted wrongfully. Keith Gadsden, they asking for lawyers. They're saying they don't have lawyers. They pointing finger at people for not helping them. This bill will give them lawyers. That's right. This bill will give them an equal footing to fight for their justice. Yes, sir. Poor people are being deprived of representation every single day in New York. Connecticut and New Jersey give people lawyers during their post-conviction. Why don't New York give it to them? That's right. I stand there today, having been convicted, served 21 years in prison for a crime I did not commit. I filed post-conviction motion after post-conviction motion. It was denied over and over again. I filed those motions pro se because I didn't have money to hire a lawyer. Each time a judge would agree when I was in court that the evidence proved that I was innocent, yet still he left me there for 21 years. So sad. It wasn't until I went before a parole board, executive branch of the government, and I gave them the same evidence that the judge had. and they said, "We wish you well in getting out and proving your innocence." I left so many men in prison behind that I pledged to get out and help. I walked out of prison and I fought for these guys, and I was able to show New York Times that the detective that sent me to prison had did it to many others. 20 people have been exonerated by this detective that sent me to prison because I was able to get out and speak for myself. This bill represents people who still stand behind prison bars that cannot speak for themselves. They asked us to come here today and ask that the bill be passed. They're innocent. They did nothing. They don't belong there. Modern day slavery exists in America. It's alive right here in New York. Very much live right here in New York. If we don't pass this bill, we are all not doing our job. We are all not doing our job. Why would we not want people that's incarcerated innocent to get a fair shake? That makes no sense.
Come on, speak truth.
Innocence should be the cornerstone of a criminal justice system. It wasn't until 2014 in my case that the Appellate Division 2nd Department ruled for the first time in New York history that innocent people should not be in prison. I repeat, it was 2014. Then the Court of Appeals decided to scale that back. They said this right don't apply to people who plead guilty. Why not? Their lives are just as valuable as mine. My life is no more valuable than a man that plead guilty that didn't commit the crime. Every day people come into my office. These two men came asking for counsel. I don't have the ability to represent everybody, but they should have a lawyer. They should be able to stand before court and present the evidence of innocence. This Wrongful Conviction Act bill will do that. It will give them a lawyer. It will give them an opportunity to be heard. And let a judge decide once and for all, after hearing all of the evidence, whether they're innocent or not. Evidence of innocence should not be thrown in the garbage no matter who it comes from. I stand here today and I beg the legislators, I demand the legislators, and I demand each and every one of us to continue this fight.
That's right.
Let's get this bill passed, and let's bring innocent people who don't belong in prison home. Thank you.
What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now. With the man now.
Yeah, John.
Thank you, John.
Give it up for John Lou.
A lot's been said. Talking about the Constitution. Enshrined in the Constitution is a fundamental idea, American ideal, that you're innocent until proven guilty. And that is what the criminal justice system is supposed to do. But we have known far too often that mistakes are made. Too many. If you ask people on the street, do they support the idea that people are innocent until proven guilty? They said, of course we do. We absolutely support that. You tell people, well, what if mistakes are made? They will tell you, well, you know what? They should be corrected. When you tell people that up to 20% of people who are convicted were wrongfully convicted, they would be shocked. I've talked to people on the street, people in my community. They're absolutely shocked that so many mistakes can be made. Well, we have a chance through Senator Myrie and Assemblymember Aubrey's bill to make sure that those mistakes are corrected. Now we can't turn back time. If we could, we should go back to time and make sure that those mistakes were never made. But they were made, and now it's our responsibility to give people a chance to make the system see the mistakes that were made and to correct those mistakes. So that we don't have these young people spend their entire lives, or the majority of their lives, locked up for something that they did not do. Everybody knows about the Central Park 5.
That's right.
I worked closely with them and their lawyers for many years. The exonerated 5, that's right. We renamed the gate at Central Park in their honor. People understand what happened, and they are shocked and outraged by that. But it's not just 5 people. It's thousands and thousands of more young men who are in the same situation, innocent, coerced, just forced to say something, to cop to something that they didn't do. Because, as Rodney said, it was the lesser of two evils. We can't allow those things to stand. And we need to make sure that this bill is passed. I'm proud to be a co-sponsor with Senator Myrie and our other colleagues here. Let's get this done. It's the right thing to do.
Let's go.
Let's bring up Claudia Claire. Yeah, let's give our hand.
I'm Senator Cordell Clear. I represent Harlem, East Harlem, El Barrio, West Harlem.
Harlem in the house.
Portion of Washington Heights and Upper West Side. Wrongful convictions. Wrongful convictions. Yo, it's okay. Okay. Project. Yeah, I'll project. You know, as Senator Lou mentioned, you know, we named the gate after the exonerated. And that comes from the source of the horrible tragedy of what was the Central Park Five and wound up being the exonerated five. But these are just five. There are five that were represented. Many people are not aware that it was dozens of people who were arrested that same night as they came sweeping through Harlem, looking for people to take. And it was those five who wound up going. But there were tons of families who were affected and impacted by that. We can never compensate people for wrongful convictions. It's not just the time. When I look at those young men now and how much it took away from their lives and their families' lives, people were stressed. That took years off their lives. That takes years off of their lifespan. So we have to be very careful when you're taking away somebody's freedom, when you're putting a label on somebody, when you're accusing somebody of a crime. You have to be very careful, and that's what we want. We need to pass this Wrongful Convictions Act. We need to pass it this year. We can't wait any longer.
Can't wait any longer. Now is the time.
New York ranks third in the entire nation in wrongful conviction, only trailing Texas and Illinois. Such is the case with Derek Hamilton, who was exonerated after spending 23 years in prison wrongfully, and other wrongfully convicted people like, as I mentioned, the exonerated five. But what's more is African Americans routinely are punished harsher in the criminal justice system. Innocent black people spend an average of almost 14 more years than white people when wrongfully imprisoned, a 45% difference. 14 more years. Do you know what 14 years is? Yes. That's almost the entire childhood of your child that people miss and can't be paid back for. In New York, 98% of convictions are a result of a plea deal. The Court of Appeals has ruled that those who plead guilty can only qualify for relief with DNA evidence. Now, if you've never seen this experience or been around this, plea deals are nothing but pressure applied to people who think they're going to be able to go home, who think they're going to be able to go home, so who are convinced, who are coerced, who are bullied into thinking that there's no other way out. You have to take this or else. So we have to really look at what has happened. There's a lot of people who say, well, why would they plead guilty? You try being there in a precinct, scared, no food, no sleep, without your parents in this case, or without legal counsel, and somebody's telling you, lying to you, you could go home if you just say you did this. So all of these things happen. This is the world that we live in. We know it exists, and we're looking for this to be this passed. I thank my colleague, Senator Myrie, for keeping this on the front burner. This is so important, and we are here to lend our voice for those with a smaller voice. And thank you today thank all of you for
Now have Natalia Fernandez.
I stand here ashamed and proud. Ashamed that for so long this state has allowed mistakes to happen, deathly mistakes to happen, and has not learned to do action soon enough. I'm proud to stand with my Senate colleague, Zelnor Myrie, in this bill, because it is way past time to give New Yorkers, to give families, to give children a true chance at justice and to their right to freedom. It's about time that this system helps us instead of hurt us.
That's right. That's right.
It is about time that New York be in a position that we can be proud of, that we are giving New Yorkers that absolute chance, the very chance that they deserve to continue living a normal, safe, justified, dignified, beautiful life. I hurt so much for those that have been hurt by this system. The exonerated 5, Mr. Hamilton, and countless others. And it is way past due that New York make us proud. That this governor supports this and makes us proud and giving everybody in this state a true fight for their life. So I'm on the bill. I'm excited to pass it. I think because we can't wait. That is being said, we cannot wait. Because to this very moment, there are young people, old people, many times black and brown people sitting in that room being pressured, interrogated, and given only one option. And that one option is to hurt themselves. Why are we giving them that option? This bill needs to pass tomorrow. It needs to be passed and signed ASAP. Thank you, Senator Myrie. Thank you for everyone here. Let's get this done.
I want to now call up 2 ground workers, hard people, representing Vocal, Eileen, and Candy.
Hello, everyone. Let's go, Vocal, New York! Hello, everyone. My name is Candy, aka Solitary Survivor, and I use the alias Solitary Survivor because I spent 1,168 days in Rikers Island, and out of those 1,168 days, I spent 1,122 days in solitary confinement, where I was starved, tortured, raped by the officers, abused, neglected, denied showers, recreation, phone calls, visits, even attorney visits. And I say all that to say I was tortured so bad I was going to plead guilty several times. But it just so happened when I went to court they weren't ready for me. And then I had spoken to a jailhouse attorney who told me that I should not plead guilty if I'm not guilty. So I didn't plead guilty, and I was found not guilty at trial, and I'm here today, and I'm fighting for everyone to pass the wrongful conviction. While I was incarcerated, there were several inmates while I was in solitary confinement that pled guilty just to go home because they were being tortured. We need to pass the Challenging Wrongful Convictions Act because people are suffering from their convictions. The Challenging Wrongful Conviction Act will create a path for people who were wrongfully convicted to challenge their conviction based on new evidence. It will do 3 main things. Remove the guilty plea bar, provide a right to discovery, a right to a hearing, and a right to appeal in post-conviction cases. And third, it will create a right to counsel for those with wrongful conviction cases, claims. This is the right thing to do, New York. The legislature must pass this bill. Let's pass this bill!
Good afternoon. My name is Eileen. I'm a civil rights union leader and a social worker from Vocal, New York. I'm also a woman who was formerly incarcerated as a result of domestic violence for which I was criminalized. I pled guilty not out of guilt, but as a result of a corrupt chain of reaction that began with negligent police, a lazy attorney, an astronomically correct PA and judge, and over 420 days on Rikers Island. I pled guilty not because I was guilty, but because it was the only way that I would have been able to return home in some sort of timely fashion. Had I not, decades later, I'd still be sitting, waiting. Basically, I was bullied into pleading out. Bullied by a corrupt judge and a corrupt system. And I'm not the only one. Here in New York State, 98% of the people incarcerated and convicted of felonies plead guilty. Not out of guilt, but as a result of these same abusive, punitive, racist, classist, and sexist systems. So-called judicial systems. However, this wrongful conviction act we are speaking on today can change all of that. When individuals like myself who unnecessarily and unfairly plead guilty despite being innocent or overcharged, we would be able to have our cases brought forth in a legal forum and begin clearing our names, which would include obtaining the discovery packages that none of us probably ever saw. Our opponents will try to convey the false narrative and have you believe falsehoods such as everyone incarcerated and detained is guilty because police and judges and DAs are infallible and they always get it right. No. Every person accused of a crime benefits from the highest, most esteemed level of legal assistance, even when it's pro bono or legal aid. I know from my own situation, this is far from the truth, as well as thousands of others. Or 3, there'll be a Hurricane Katrina level of influx of lawsuits and filings, crippling our courts and bankrupting New York. Or a combo of all 3, but they are all wrong. Take it from me and my thousands of comrades who are and were riding away in cages unjustly. Please support the Wrongful Conviction Act today, not yesterday, so we can all clear our names and send our brothers and sisters home.
I want to bring out Anthony Sims.
No justice. No justice.
So this is a moment right here because I was just released December 1st from doing 25 years to life. What was sad is for a crime I didn't commit. And one of the things that needs to be known is that I spent more time in prison than I spent on the earth. And outside there, rather, in the street. When I came to prison, I had 2 sons. They was young, 3 and 4. Now they're both 29, 30. They have grandkids. I mean, they have kids. I'm a grandfather. Which I still didn't get a chance to see my grandkids yet because although I'm in front of you right now, I'm still waiting to be exonerated, which I thought was going to happen today. So of course I had to get permission from my parole officer just to be at this event. But I promised thousands and thousands of people behind the wall that I would always be a voice on her, right? So I remember my wife going through these rallies before when I was in prison. Remember I told her I was just That's right. And this bill will affect and help so many people. I work with politicians. I'm currently working with the Manhattan DA's office right now, trying to find alternatives to incarceration. We're trying to work on different programs and different things to help people out. So people say, well, Ann, why would you come out of prison after doing all of those years for something you didn't do and still want to jump right back into the fire? It's because I have a duty. I have an obligation.
That's right, brother.
Right? To try to fix this world.
Brother, that journey help.
And that's what it's about. And I can't. Words could never express my gratitude towards you, Senator Miley, and the rest of the politicians. Y'all are giants in our world, and I appreciate you. Please support this bill, y'all. I want to thank you for everyone who spoke and attended this press conference. God bless all of you. Peace.
What do we want? Justice. 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 What do we want? Now. Yeah. Now. Let's go. Thank you, Senator Martin. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony.
I was trying to make room for you the whole time so you could get around here, just so you know. Yeah.
Hey guys, another thing we're going to want to do is on the other side, Jen Rajkumar's on the other side, we're going to want to talk to her as well. There's some other legislators on this side, the other side that are keen to talk to her. Okay? Finish up here. Try to grab the legislators, they're the most important ones. Yeah? Pay attention. Listen, either way, yeah?